All right, good evening, good people. My name is James Edwards, and I am the clinical director for the Quality of Life and Recovery Center. And I want to welcome you guys to the Forgiveness Challenge 2025. The Forgiveness Challenge 2025. This is the second annual Forgiveness Challenge. We had a Forgiveness Challenge in 2024. But this challenge came about as the result of an ebook that I wrote in 2021. And the reason why I wrote this ebook was because, number one, I was interested to the whole idea of, or I was introduced to the whole idea of life coaching and what goes on in sales and marketing as it relates to personal branding. From my understanding, life coaching and personal branding are very, very, very closely related. But with the two of those, there is a lot of sales and marketing technique that someone has to be familiar with and use in order to be successful. And one of the primary or main marketing tools when it comes to life coaching and personal branding is the ebook and or digital publications. And so the 11 steps to your foundation for forgiveness is actually the title of that first ebook. And so I wrote that ebook, but I wrote that ebook as a result of my first year in clinical work. My background is in counseling, behavioral health, psychology, sociology. It wears a number of different masks. But as a first year clinician, one of the reoccurring themes that I heard was about forgiveness and the inability to forgive, or people's challenges with the concept of forgiveness. When I would have conversations with clients about forgiveness, they would talk about it as if it was a disadvantage or as if it was a handicap if they would forgive. But most importantly, what I also noticed is that we impose or we expect that very lofty idea or expectation of people, and there is little or no guidance. There is no map. Nobody knows what to do in order to forgive. And so I said, well, James, this is the perfect opportunity to identify your niche, right? Your niche or your target area of interest. And so I selected forgiveness, and it's a pretty popular concept. It's a pretty popular reality in the human experience. So we are here for this particular challenge. We're going to be here for 11 days from the 21st of December, Sunday, December 21st, 2025, until I think it's Tuesday, December 31st of 2005. And that's actually going to be on New Year's Eve. And so 11 days, we're going to be here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so hopefully you can join us every day. You can join us a few days. But most importantly, what I really hope you do is share with someone, a family member or a friend, and say, hey, there is this phenomenal framework out here. I think you should check it out because it's going to assist you with forgiveness or the idea of forgiveness. Forgiveness as a life skill, forgiveness as a health and wellness strategy. We're going to talk about forgiveness as a project, a plan, and a process. Forgiveness as a project, plan, and a process. I want you guys to know that this video is unscripted. And so I do have a iPad here, but I'm not looking on it. And the iPad is actually disconnected because I can't connect to the Wi-Fi. You guys know what goes on whenever you decide to record or plan anything. Most times you have to be able to speak extemporaneously. That is a word that I learned today. Well, not that I learned, but that I use today. And so because it is hard to pronounce, I said I'm going to practice using it. So speaking extemporaneously. You usually are required to do that if you plan to have an online course or you plan to get online and give a talk, because everything that can go wrong will actually go wrong. And as you can see, we are filming from this wonderful studio location. I am actually on the campus of Richard Vale Academy. In addition to my interest in behavioral health and life coaching, I've also been a volunteer as a developmental instructor for the last 8.5 months. And the training actually occurs on the beautiful, beautiful island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I'm here in this makeshift studio, which is actually the campus gym. And so it's a lovely, lovely facility, a very, very, very beautiful island. And this is the credential of developmental instructor is one that I am really excited about adding to my resume or my curriculum vitae. And so, but to get back to the reason that we are here, we're talking about forgiveness. And before we get started, there are a few suggestions, a few things that I want you to make sure you have in place for yourself if you are going to be here for this particular process for the next 11 days. Number one, I just like to always remind people that this is supposed to be a community or a communal experience where you're involved in it with other people, specifically an individual that is familiar with the journey of introspection, or taking a look at yourself, because it can be difficult, right? There are some painful things that will come up, and we want you to make sure that you have the support in order to do that. So this could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be a mate, it could be a coworker, it could be a pastor, it could be a therapist and or a life coach. But we want you to make sure that you have someone you can kind of bounce ideas off of, right? And that you can invite them into your journey, into your ability to take a look at yourself. So that's number one. Make sure that you have some type of support. Number two, what I think is really, really important is just to remind people that this is not about retaliation. This is not about getting your lick back. This is not about retribution. What we want you to do is to develop some integrity. What we want you to do is to have the tools and the courage to be able to look in the mirror and take a look at yourself. And so we don't want you to look in the mirror and see someone else and want to go attack that person, right? And so the disclaimer is this is not about retaliation. This is about an inward and honest and comprehensive inward journey, all right? So it's not about retribution or retaliation. So number two. Number three is, I don't know about you guys, but I have a pretty light personality when it comes to really serious stuff like trauma, sadness, loss of any particular type, right? And so we want you to take this process lightly. Do what you can to try and have some fun, all right? You are the most important project. You are the most important corporation on the planet today. So we want you to be able to have some fun spending time with yourself, right? So try to have some fun. And that's number three. Number four is we want you to make a commitment, right? I want to extend an invitation, and we want you to make a commitment to the development of a more the wiser, better understanding of who you are. We want you to be able to celebrate yourself along the way, because it takes a lot of courage to take a look at yourself, right? To begin working on yourself. And I feel like it's an excellent time to do that, to do this, right? Because, first of all, I wanted to wish you guys a happy winter solstice. Uh, the 21st of December is where we actually make the journey into winter. So happy winter. But also, what we're doing in this next 11 days is we are closing out 2025, right? And so we want to make sure that you have the tools, the strategies, the resources in order to begin your new year with a firm foundation of self. We want you to begin the new year with a reset in your soul, right? We want you to begin the new year with a clean heart. We want you to begin the new year with a lighter and more enhanced and a clearer thought pattern as you move into your 2026. All right. And so those are the goals. Those are the objectives. And again, as we move through this series for the next 10 days, you can always reach out to me. You can ask me questions. We have an actual page, the Forgiveness Challenge 2025. You can like, comment, and share there. Or you can actually inbox me or message me if you have questions. You can also contact me at jamesedwards5611 at gmail.com. That's James Edwards 5611 at gmail.com. Or you can contact me by email at jaedwards230 at gmail.com. That's jaedwards230 at gmail.com. But most importantly, I want to make sure that you contact me or that you join the Forgiveness Challenge 2025 Facebook page, because that's where these videos are going to be posted. And so if you have questions, you can ask your questions there. I just got bit by a mosquito, right? And so, of course, they are out here having a field day with me because this is the tropics, right? This is the Caribbean, and this is where they live. All right. So we got the disclaimers out the way. Most importantly, I want to be able to interact with you guys. This is a video presentation, but I want to be able to create relationship with you. So if you have questions, please email me. Please make sure you join the Forgiveness Challenge 2025 Facebook page so that we can exchange ideas, so that you can tell me what didn't work during this first session, what did work. You could tell me maybe what you would like to hear in the second session, and we can do a good job at taking a look at ourselves. And most importantly, we can do a good job at building this framework, right? Because all I have is the basic outline for it. And so with the basic outline, what I did was actually just break up the word forgiveness into 11 different steps. And what I did was I incorporated basic clinical or behavioral health strategies into each of those 11 steps. I want to tell you guys too that this process is not new. I borrowed a lot of information and a lot of strategy from 12-step programming, whether it be Alcoholics Anonymous, whether it be Cocaine Anonymous, whether it be Gamblers Anonymous. This 11-step process has a lot of similarity to 12-step programming. So you should be aware of that, right? I'm one of those clinicians or those behavioral health professionals that does not believe in recreating the wheel. I like to borrow and build upon previous concepts to make something new. Another thing too is that one of my other creative aliases is I go by Jimmy, the Experiential One, on the Quality of Life and Recovery podcast. And so, but I call myself the Experiential One because I believe in the power and the capability of human experience. And there is a theory out there called experiential learning. So we're going to borrow a lot from experiential learning theory. With experiential learning theory, there are actually 4 different parts to experiential learning theory. Number 1, you have the concrete experience. Number two, you have what's called reflective observation. Reflective observation. Number three, you have what's called abstract conceptualization. Abstract conceptualization. And then number four, you have active experimentation, active experiencing, or active experimentation. And so with the concrete experience, that's the thing that happened, right? And what you do is you sit down and you pull back and you take a look at it. With reflective observation, what you do is you take the opportunity to kind of see and understand what it is that you experience, what it is that you learned. You look at it from a sensory perspective. You hear it differently. You feel it differently. You talk about it differently in reflective observation. And with abstract conceptualization, what you do is you synthesize, right, your old understanding of that concrete experience with new information, all right, who you are today and how you experience it today in comparison to how you experienced it last week or how you might have experienced it at a younger age, right? And you come up with something new. A new understanding, a new idea. You add new meaning to it. And so abstract conceptualization is actually one of my favorite facets of experiential learning theory. And then once you've done some abstract conceptualization, when you re-experience the event, or you go back out into your job, or you interact with that family member again, you have new knowledge, new strategy, and a new way of looking at yourself. And so you don't fall into what we call in the Foundation for Forgiveness, you don't fall into what we call repeating patterns. You get the ability to break the routine and do something new, right? That's what it's really, really all about. We want you to experience the newness of life in every way that you possibly can. All right. And so those are a few of the theories that I'm going to work from. And so with these sessions that we have every day, I want to keep it brief, right? Because we know the world struggles with their attention span. And I shouldn't say the world, James, because we don't know that. James has not done any research. These 11 steps to your foundation for forgiveness have not gone through any clinical trials, but who knows? One day we might. And so, I have, I lost my place just that quick, what I was actually talking about. We were talking about the attention span. And so we know that a lot of people struggle with paying attention. And so we want to keep these sessions really, really brief. And so at most, I'm going to be here for 45 minutes to an hour every day. These are going to be talking head presentations. I do not have any guests. I don't know, but by the time we get to step 10 or by the time we get to day 9, we might have guests coming in. I don't know, but for right now, these are going to be talking head presentations. So it's just going to be me talking off the top of my dome about the 11 steps to your foundation for forgiveness. And we are here for the Forgiveness Challenge 2025. And this is day 1 of the Forgiveness Challenge 2025. And again, if you're just joining the video, we are recording from the beautiful, beautiful island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I am in my makeshift studio, which is actually the campus gym. And so I want to thank you guys for just taking the time out to join us here today. And so with step 1, right? Step 1, or the letter F in the word forgiveness, right, is all about facing the fact, right? It's about fact finding and fact facing. So what we want to do is to, number 1, give you the tools to be able to take a look at what it is that you are going to forgive. This is my suggestion. With your first run through or your first trial, or even if you were here last year or you watched some of the videos from last year, what we want you to do is just focus on one thing for the next 11 days, right? One thing, one event, one thing that happened to you, one person that it is that you want to forgive. It could be something, we want you to take something light, right? We don't want you to take anything extreme. What I'm going to do in this particular series of videos is I am going to take a look at myself with you, right? So you can get an idea of how it's done. And if you want to critique me, you absolutely can, because I have to be open to suggestions, guidance, and critique if I'm actually going to train and show anyone else, right? And so we want you to identify just one thing for the next 11 days that you want to work on, or just one person that you want to forgive, one specific experience, right? We want you to pick that thing and work on it for the next 11 days. So take a moment to come up with something in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. What I want you guys to know is that I am a very sensory type of clinician. I will make a lot of references to the brain, the heart, and your stomach, right? Because they say all of these organs or places in our body have cognitive abilities or have their own level of intelligence. And so what we're going to do is we are going to consult those areas. In the clinical work that I do, I'm known for asking people, you know, hey, if your big toe or your baby toe had something to say, or the heel of your foot had something to say about your day, if you could give the heel of your foot a voice, what would the heel or the sole of your foot have to say about your day? We very rarely think about ourselves in that manner, right? Or if your elbow could talk, what would your elbow actually say? But I want to let you guys know the moment that you do that, what you do is you move from your cognitive ability to another sensory abilities, and every part of your body has intelligence and information that's waiting for you to tap into, that your body has information and resources and healing strategies that it wants to share with you. So at various points throughout this process, I am going to remind you to embody or experience your life, other people, yourself from a different place in your body. And so the brain, the heart, and the belly are three of my main focal points. So just for just a little bit of added information about my approach and my theoretical orientation and the way that I work. All right, and so what we're doing first is we're finding that one thing. Now, I had this iPad here because I wanted to pull up what I feel is one of the most important tools that we want you to have. Again, this is not a new idea or a new process. It's called taking inventory. Businesses do it. It's a really popular strategy in 12-step work. But the first thing that you're going to do is you are going to take what we call the forgiveness inventory. All right, the forgiveness inventory. And so what you can do is, because I can't show the actual form to you on my iPad, because I can't connect to the internet for some strange reason, when I get connected tomorrow, what I will be able to do is pull it up for you here. But the inventory is pretty simple, right? You can make one with a piece of paper and a pen. What we want you to do is to draw a chart. This particular chart has a few rows and it has a few columns. And so if you look above me, we got an example of what a chart could look like, right? Or what a graph could look like. So what you're going to do is you're going to make some rows and you're going to make some columns. And at the top of those columns, the heading or the title of those columns, for the first column, what you're going to write is at the top is what actually happened. That is the concrete experience. We want you to write what happened. If you don't feel like talking at length about it, just write one word that reminds you of what actually happened. So we want you to put the event in that first column. That first column, the title is what actually happened, the concrete experience. If we go back to experiential learning, right, it's the concrete experience, right? So what actually happened? In column number 2, I can talk sometimes. Whenever you hear me stumble over my words, you will hear me remind myself that, James, you are very capable of using your words effectively, right? So you will actually get to see my own form of self-coaching, all right? And so column number 1 is you're going to put what happened. Column number 2 is who was there, right? Who did it? Name the person, name the people. If you don't want to use actual names, you can use make-believe names, right? Or you can use cartoon characters or superhuman characters if you want to keep the information anonymous, because sometimes you're in an environment where you can't really share your information. You can't journal or write down information and it still be safe, right? Or you can't you can't be on a video session like this and talk, and what you share is still kept confidential. So we want to encourage you to use cartoon names, use superhero names if you have to. You don't have to use actual names. But in that second column, what we want you to do is to identify who was there, the name of the person, who was involved, right? And that's column number 2, all right? Column number 3 is what did you feel, right? We want you to zero in on the actual emotions that you experienced. When it comes to emotions, right, we want you to stick with the basics. We could just say happy, mad, sad, right? Or you could borrow from Dr. Paul Ekman's seven universal emotions. They are anger, disgust, contempt, fear, sadness, surprise, and I think excitement, I think it is. So it's anger, contempt, disgust, excitement, fear, sadness, and surprise. Anger, contempt, disgust, excitement, fear, sadness, and surprise. That's about Dr. Paul Ekman's 7 universal emotions. You can borrow from those, but we want you to zero in on what you felt. If you don't want to use happy, mad, glad, sad, if you don't want to use Dr. Paul Ekman's 7 universal emotions, just go for it. Pick your own. I felt red. I felt blue. I felt yellow. I felt purple. Right? If you're having a problem, and so again, if you're having a problem identifying what you felt, again, what we want to do is we want to approach this process lightheartedly. All right. We want you to be able to have some fun as you explore what it is that you're trying to work on in this actual process, right? So that's column number 3. What did you feel? For column number 4, the title for column number 4, what we want you to write is what you lost, right? What did you lose? Did you lose a job? Did you lose a sense of self? Did you lose money? Did you lose self-respect? Did you lose a family member? Did you lose a friend? Did you lose your own sense of safety and well-being? All right. So that 4th column, we want you to write in what did you lose? All right. And in the 5th and final column, right? 5th and final column, we want you to write what it is that you can regain, right? Why is it going to be important for you to work through this process, right? Why is it important for you to forgive? Why is it going to be an advantage for you to forgive, right? And so, how will this work to your advantage is what we want you to put in column number 5. What are you working toward? Why are you investing your time and your energy to hear James talk, right, about the foundation for forgiveness? What are you working toward, right? So we want you to identify that, all right? So that is what your inventory looks like. Again, you have 5 columns with 5 different titles. Number 1, you have the concrete experience, what actually happened. Number 2, you actually have who was there, who did it. Number 3, what did you feel? Column number 3, what did you feel? Column number 4, what did you lose? Right? What did you lose? Column number 5, what will you regain? Why should you forgive? How is it going to work to your advantage, right? So that's your inventory. And so that's the beginning, right? With step number 1, which is the fact finding. And what you're going to do is you're going to write those facts on a piece of paper. It's really, really important that you record or you articulate your experiences. You can either do it digitally, online, or you can just get a piece of paper and create your inventory. But what we want you to do is we want you to have a physical or visual thing or something that you can look at and kind of work your way through. And the suggestion, if you join this video late or you start watching this video late, the suggestion is for you to only pick one thing to work on, right? One concrete experience, one thing that happened to you that you want to work on for these next 10 days, because this is day number 1, all right? And so with day number one is all about fact finding and fact facing. Facing the facts, or the F in the word forgiveness, right? That's day number 1. And what you're doing is you are taking inventory. And so, again, we want this whole experience, this whole forgiveness challenge to be interactive. If you have questions, again, remember to feel free to email me. Email is my preferred way that you would contact me with your questions, because then you automatically have a written log of what it is we're working on or what it is we're talking about. So you can email me at A as in Apple, EDWARDS230 @gmail.com. I'm giving you 2 Gmails because one of my Gmails is full. It's to capacity. And so if you want to contact me or email me with your questions and your comments, we want you to do that at A as in Apple, EDWARDS230 @gmail.com. That's one email. The second email is James Edwards. That's JAMES EDWARDS 5611 @gmail.com. That is the email that's full. So if I don't get it at James Edwards 5611 @gmail.com, send it to JAEdwards230 @gmail.com. I should probably have a Forgiveness Challenge 2025 email, but I don't have that this year. As this challenge continues to grow, I'm probably going to do these challenges for the rest of my life. I've identified my purpose and my place, and helping individuals with the process of forgiveness is something that I'm just excited about. And I am committed to doing it for the remainder of my life. I love clinical work. I love the idea of people taking a look at themselves and reconstructing their lives to find new meaning, new ideas, and new life experiences. I just thoroughly enjoy it. So those are the ways that you can contact me, or you can join the Forgiveness Challenge Facebook page, Forgiveness Challenge 2025 Facebook page. And just a reminder, if you're watching this video late, we are going to be here every day for the next 11 days. December 21st is the first day. Happy winter solstice again. We are celebrating the winter solstice and moving into winter. And so, but the challenge concludes on December 31st, and that's actually New Year's Eve. And we're going to be here every day at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time talking about the 11 steps to your foundation for forgiveness. And so if you have any questions, please contact me. Again, what we want you to do until tomorrow is to work on your inventory, right? Inventory, finding that one thing that it is that you want to work on forgiving, or that it is that you want to work on taking a look at. Again, the Foundation for Forgiveness Challenge is 11 days of emotional, physical, spiritual, financial, even archaeology. I mentioned that one of the things that you're going to get the opportunity to do is to see me work on forgiving James, right? I am actually going to take a look at an experience with you, and we're going to work through it. We're going to talk through it together. You can get the opportunity to see me take accountability, me practice some integrity with me, because honestly, I think that's the best place for a person to start. You have to forgive you first before you can get the opportunity to forgive someone else. But again, my name is James Edwards. I am the clinical director for the Quality of Life and Recovery Center, where we strive to produce a values-driven, experience-oriented approach to personal development, self-improvement, and or life change. We are here for the next now 10 days for the 2025 Foundation for Forgiveness Challenge. I want to thank you guys for taking the opportunity to be here and listen with me. To my consultants, I do have 5 consultants that are working with the background. They are going to review these videos and let me know what worked, what didn't work, and hopefully on day 2 I'll be able to refine my presentation based upon the input that I get from my consultants. And so, to my consultants, if you're reviewing this video, thank you for taking the time out of your day to serve as my volunteer consultant. I can't pay you guys yet, but who knows how this process might grow one day. And so that is all I have for day 1 of the Foundation for Forgiveness Challenge, or the Forgiveness Challenge 2025. Until we talk again on tomorrow, remember, people, to do what you can to celebrate you. You are the most important, the most valuable, what do I want to say, organization or individual on the planet. So we want you to treat yourself well. And then if you treat you good, when somebody else comes along, you can give them a break, right? You can be nice, kind, and accommodating toward them. And so until we talk again on tomorrow, good people, have a good night. And I will talk to you guys on, what is tomorrow, Monday? Yeah, I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Day 2 of the Forgiveness Challenge 2025. Have a good night.